should start.
Okay.
It's 8. It's, oh God, I got the time wrong. It is now 6:26 on September 10th. It's August 10th. What the fuck day is it?
Never gonna get that NPR job you're
I
looking
know.
for. Terry Gross is
Um,
gonna fire your ass.
I'm also going to try to say like less. Good God, I hate hearing myself so much. And looking at myself is worse. What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of Pod Chef, the official Top Chef podcast. And when we say official, we mean official because it is the only podcast that Tom Colicchio has asked people to do, and those people are us.
Yes, and my 100th episode, you'll actually see the email that he sent us. So stick around.
That's true. So like each milestone that we reach, we're going to release like new evidence of our relationship with Tom. When we get to like this series finale, you know, whenever that happens, Tom is actually going to be on the podcast, which will be like episode, I don't know, 500, I guess, something like that.
You can't think about how many episodes we are supposed to do of this podcast if we are doing every episode of Top Chef, because there are thousands.
Yeah, there's a lot, but we do want to emphasize that it's like you got to listen to all of them. There's no point in just listening to like episode 1 and 2 and being like, I'll skip around. No, you have to listen to what will be thousands of episodes.
It's a linear story. So if you miss one episode, you're going to be lost.
Yeah, and I think we touched on it last week. We will remember everything that we say and do. So we will be referencing those things. So they're jokes that you'll get on episode 10. If you didn't hear episode 1, you'll miss them.
And on that point, if we reference something that happened in the previous episode and you're like, that didn't actually happen, that's because we re-recorded that episode.
So originally it did happen.
Or we cut the joke entirely.
Or it was cut and we forgot we cut it.
We forgot we cut it.
Yeah, because as of right now, we are editing this ourselves. We are going to ask a low-level friend of Jamal's to do it.
Low level, cut that. We're one of our friends is gonna do some great editing for us. We haven't asked him yet, so hopefully it works out. Otherwise, cut that.
So what we did for this episode, we watched episode 2 of season 1 of Top Chef, San Francisco.
That's right. So we're really getting into kind of the nitty gritty and like we're getting into the flow of what the season and the show is kind of like. And we're really kind of getting a good feel for what these contestants are like when they relax and they're in their element.
Yeah, they've at this point, they've been at Top Chef for at least a couple of days. So they're in it. They're comfortable. They don't look at the they know the camera's not there. They all like each other and their friends. So they can really be themselves and cook their food.
Which is important on Top Chef, to cook your food.
Yeah. And so this episode really addresses what is probably been a question that everyone has had since the first episode, which is which of these contestants is the horniest?
Yes,
that's because that's like every episode has like a question. It's like basic storytelling, and this one is and it does get answered.
This is a reference to the first one. The first question for the last episode was, "Did you throw the sauce out?" That's a reference.
Yes.
That will be in the recording. And then this episode's question is, "Who is the horniest contestant?"
Yeah,
and we'll tell you after we go through the episode first. So, Top Chef, you know it now, but we'll tell you again. It starts with a quick fire challenge, which is an easy, quick challenge called Quick Fire. And this one actually involves no fire, but it is quick, and they all hate it.
Yeah, so they have to do a freaking fruit bowl, and apparently that's not what they teach you in culinary school at all.
Yeah, apparently this cancels the brain of everyone except for like 2 who try and do it differently. But everyone else is like, fruit bowl, I just put fruit on a plate, right? That's all I gotta do.
Yeah, the guest judge for this quick fire is Elizabeth Faulkner. She looks very cool. She has dyed blonde hair. She's got a cool jacket and a bunch of necklaces on. She is ready to see some fucking fruit plates. She's stoked for fruit plates.
And I know you're thinking fruit plate. You're probably thinking buffet style. I hope they didn't do buffet style.
God.
Fruit plate.
Yeah, I know you hear fruit plate, you hear buffet.
Yeah.
But fuck, I really hope that you don't
You
do
hear
buffet.
just put fruit, pile it on your plate. But trust me, these top chefs are going to do something a little bit different.
And Reese mentioned it. This one breaks them. This is what they say when they find out what the challenge is. Here's a clip.
And all these chefs are like, chop, 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 suey all over the place. And I'm looking at this basket of fruit, and I'm like, I just really want to put the basket of fruit exactly as it is on the table. I use for my clients all the time. A piece of a cake. At this point, I feel I'm a little bit above cutting fruit and just, scattering it all over the place.
So I think the first thing that we have to talk about is how Brian is completely wrong. He says he does this for his clients all the time. It's a piece of cake. It's fruit, Brian. This is the
fruit.
one thing that we're all doing.
Not cake at all.
Yeah.
So.
It's fruit.
So right up front, Brian is out. There's no way he's going to do well because he's going to present a slice of cake and they're looking for fruit.
Which I can speak to this because Brian's black. In the first episode, he said that he is a celebrity chef for celebrities who can afford him. And then he named like some 1990s celebrities like Eddie Murphy and Mariah Carey. And so to him, when he's like something's a slice of cake, they want cake. Like they don't want you to slice fruit. So the confusion there is it's cultural, but it's also cultural.
And that's where this podcast is also educational.
Yeah. Also, Andrea points out that the fruit looks so beautiful to her that she almost doesn't want to do anything with it. Which when you think about it, like that's a true artist. Like sometimes artists, like they get their materials together and they look at what they're going to make and they're like, you know what? These crayons are good enough.
I don't need to touch them.
I'm an artist. I use crayons. I'm just going to put these crayons out in my exhibit and that's going to be the art.
That's the art.
Yeah, I think my favorite, I went to Italy when a couple years ago, and my favorite thing that we saw was Michelangelo's pencil. Beautiful. It was beautiful. So simple.
It's just like,
did you see the nunchucks anywhere?
I saw the nunchucks. I saw the size.
Nice.
Size?
Yeah.
I saw the stick. And I saw the sword.
Staff.
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
You call it a staff.
I'm doing English. It's Italian. It's a staff.
Yeah.
But so yeah, Andrea said that, but then she didn't do that, and she got read for it later. She was like, "I'm just gonna put it on the plate," and then when she gets judged, she was like, "I wanted to put it on the plate," and then this badass judge is just like, "Then why didn't you do that?"
Yeah, she freaking reams her ass over that.
Yeah, she's in trouble. She's not doing well. The people that do pretty well in this challenge, Miguel kills the challenge, and it's honestly not fair with Miguel in this challenge because he can talk to fruit. And here's a clip of that.
Okay, this pretty much explains a little bit who I am. I kind of let the fruit talk to me when I started this project. Let the cantaloupe talk to me. He even said, fill me up with fruit.
So Miguel he says he's going to let the fruit talk to him, and what the fruit says to him is fill me up with fruit.
It's a little bit cheating when you think about it, because you're supposed to be doing these quick fires by yourself, but if your ingredients speak to you literally, don't you have a leg up against all the other chefs on the show?
Yeah, it's like you have an assistant.
Yeah, it's like, here's what you do. You gut me, you just stuff me. Like, that's not fair.
And who knows more of like what you need to do to that item of food than that item of food. Like they know exactly how they need to be prepared.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. When I go to a barbecue place, I want the front sign to be a pig holding up pork.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's good, because a pig told them how to prepare them.
Yeah, pig said, make me hold up other pork pieces.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
And that's why Chick-fil-A is garbage, because Chick-fil-A has cows telling me how to eat chicken, and that's wrong.
Yeah,
We all
and they don't get it. It's not a crossover. They don't get it. Cows
No.
don't know how to be chickens. Stay in your lane. Hey, cows, shut up and dribble.
Just play the game. Yeah. This clip worried me a little bit just because he said the fruit was talking to him, and I don't know if if people haven't seen the episode yet, but it cuts to a clip of him looking down at a piece of cantaloupe that looks like it's had just like the lower half of it kind of sliced a little bit to create a mouth, and two of those little like rolly eyes had been pasted on it. And it was just kind of like not saying anything, but like Miguel was kind of talking out of the side of his mouth saying, "Fill me with fruit." So I was worried that Miguel was having some sort of breakdown in that moment.
I thought he was going to have a Ken style breakdown and really just lose it and start screaming, but he kept it together, and he really pulled it off. He didn't win the challenge. Steven won the challenge, and the way that Steven did the challenge is that he put a bunch of fruit in cups.
You put a bunch of fruit in cups and paired it with herbs that don't pair well with fruit, but we weren't tasting it, so no one knew that except for what's his name, Harold, who absolutely called it out at the end because Harold did, the real knife work for this this challenge. But yeah, Steven did nothing but throw fruit and herbs together that don't even pair well, and because we didn't have to taste them, we didn't know.
And he won because it didn't look like it was from a buffet. Literally, when we said the buffet thing, Elizabeth Faulkner was like, I've seen this at a buffet. Elizabeth Faulkner goes to buffets every day. And she's seen every possible fruit combination that every buffet has brought to her. And she won't take it anymore, especially not from Top Chef.
Yeah, she wants buffets to stay in buffet restaurants. Like, they cannot mix into Top Chef.
Fruit or otherwise, buffets, get out of here.
Yeah.
Hey, buffet, just shut up and dribble. Shut up and dribble, buffets. Do what you do, all right?
Stay in your lane.
Steven wins. Everyone's mad because he is a character, and they shouldn't let the plant win because he was put there by the producers. But it happened. And then we get to know what the main challenge is going to be. And folks, strap in. Or should I say,
strap on.
Strap on.
Yeah.
Nope. They got no laughs from you guys.
Love how I snuck in there first.
Yeah, you stole my joke, and it still got no laughs. So that's what you get. Should we play the clip of her introducing Madam S?
Yes, but first you should set the scene for everyone listening. So everyone understand that when the music hits a certain point, you'll tell that pure raw sexiness is on screen. And like you got to go check this out on like YouTube or on Hulu to really understand it. But you'll feel the raw passion of the sexuality just in the music change itself. So
I do want to point out that this is the second episode of this culinary reality show, and the second episode, the main challenge is to make it sexy. It's like
sex sells.
Very confusing for the contestants that have been put on this show, just thinking that they're going to just be making food, basically.
Yep.
And when you think about it, the first challenge did make sense. It was just like, just make a dish. And this one's like, well, and now you got to be sexy, because that's a big part of making food, apparently.
It's almost like the writers on this show who come up with like the challenges were like, we don't have a challenge for the second week. Just maybe do something sexy. We'll come back to you on week 3.
Before we go any further, let me introduce you to your hostess for tomorrow night's party.
Oh, baby.
This one comes up just killing it in a latex dress.
I'd like to introduce you to Madam S, manager of Mr. S, the most famous fetish store in San Francisco.
And I think we can cut it there, baby. So Madam S comes out.
Yeah, Madam S. Don't let that confuse you with the scarlet letter S. 2 different things.
And maybe you're wondering who Madam S is, and it doesn't matter. Madam S is a role that a woman plays for Mr. S. It's like it's like Shamu. Shamu is not one whale. Shamu is just the whale at SeaWorld. Madam S isn't this person. It is a role that's filled at Mr. S. It's the manager. So when you put on your resume what position you held at Mr. S, the most famous fetish shop in San Francisco, you put I was Madam S.
I don't think I understand. I was trying to come up with another analogy to help you, but I don't think I understood yours. Can you, because you understand. So can you do another one? Because maybe that'll help me. Yeah.
Better this time.
So, okay.
Don't use the Shamu one, because that
don't use the Shamu one.
I went down some kind of wormhole in my head where I couldn't focus on anything else but Shamu. So if you could think of another one, that might help me.
They're all animal related. If that,
okay.
So I'm not going to help myself at all. But like Lassie is just the dog. You know, like there are dogs that play Lassie. Same thing. Does that make sense?
Is it like how Kleenex are tissues, but we call them Kleenex? Is that what you're? We might just have to move on.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, that one didn't work. We'll cut it or keep it. I don't know. These are all great. Okay. So their challenge is to make sexy. They're going to be hosting a sex party.
They got to make sexy dessert.
Sexy dessert. Yes. Yes. And none of them are pastry chefs, and none of them are particularly into doing a sexy dish.
That's right. And that's something that's going to come up a lot, not just in this episode, but other episodes, is that these chefs are not pastry chefs. They are chefs. And if you're a chef, that means you can't be a pastry chef. And if you're a pastry chef, you can't be a chef.
You got to pick a lane.
Yeah. Pick a lane. Shut up and pick a lane. And if we get onto some kind of Seinfeld thing, I can say shut up and pick a lane. So that's one that we can bookmark for the future.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
I don't think anyone from Seinfeld has ever a guest on Top Chef.
Really?
Maybe Kramer?
So.
Maybe Kramer. No. Oh, no. Well,
depends
on when it came out.
I don't think they'd have Kramer.
I think Kramer fucked up right before the show started.
I think he was booked for Top Chef. And then they said, Kramer, shut up and dribble.
They have to do a sexy challenge, and Andrea isn't into it. She seems to be completely against the idea of it being sexy. Leanne is kind of like, what is sexy? They don't really know what is sexy. Two contestants know what sexy is, and that is Steven and Miguel.
Mm-hmm.
Steven believes, and Tom Colicchio agrees, that there is nothing sexier than champagne. And folks, I think he's right.
Only as a sommelier, so you know.
So I kind of get what they're saying. I think that the disturbing thing is hearing the way that both of them agree that there is nothing sexier than champagne. It did make me feel uncomfortable.
Kind of made me feel like they've poured champagne on someone before.
Or maybe like on themselves or something.
On themselves, maybe. And we're like, don't you want to take the champagne off now? Like it's kind of scary.
It's like, no, I think I'm gonna keep the champagne and you get out of here.
Yeah, you get out of here.
This is peak sexiness to me, so I don't know what else to do.
You're kind of ruining the champagne because you just spilt it all. So
yeah,
your significant other shows up. They're wearing nothing but a raincoat and a bottle of champagne, and you hit them with "Leave the champagne, get out of here."
Leave the champagne, take the raincoat because it's raining.
It's because it's raining outside and it's really bad.
Yeah, but thanks for the delivery of champagne.
Here we go.
Celery, Granny Smith apple gelée. There's going to be champagne topped on top of this. Nothing sexier than champagne. Nothing sexier than champagne. I'm with you. Okay.
See how fast that agreement was? That's almost like he's like, oh yeah, and all the memories are like flipping by his brain so quick. He's like, yeah, champagne.
Yeah, because his hands were like very jittery.
Yeah,
like pupils dilated in that moment.
Yeah,
it was like watching an addict like getting like the reminder of the hit.
Champagne, champagne.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, someone needed to be there to help them. It was clear that they were both struggling with addiction to champagne, and you put them in the same room together, and they just like had no one to check them, and it came out.
So I also want to point out that all the chefs, not only did they have to do a sexy dessert, they also had to dress up
That's
in what
right.
they interpreted as sexy. And I gotta say, what some of the chefs came up with, it's almost like they put as much effort into, like, they put little effort into the desserts, I think, but like even less thought into dressing sexy.
I think
And like,
what I took from that was a bunch of people that were going to be on a show about making food were then told that they needed to dress sexy. And then in a panic, they looked at what they had brought and they were like, could this be interpreted as sexy? This is a
Yeah.
slightly tighter shirt than I normally wear or whatever.
Yeah.
And they just kind of just worked with whatever they had, which was normal clothes basically. Or in some people's cases, they did actually assume a character and remove clothes.
Yep. Which also served as a warning for future seasons, like pack something sexy.
Yeah,
Be prepared for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to pack a sexy outfit. You need to pack something for the heat and for the cold, and something to get wet. That's just reality TV 101. Miguel, if that's who you're referring to, Jamal, to Reeves, became a character, and his character was my shirt is open and I have on an orange wig, and that's what he did. And it was very funny.
Yeah, women love funny in the bedroom, so
Well, women love funny in the bedroom, but Madam S did not like what Miguel was doing.
you know why? They were not in a bedroom.
Do you think that's...
You gotta save the funny for the bedroom. You can't be funny, sexy outside of it. You gotta. I mean, everyone loves a funny guy. Everyone does. I mean, she even admits he's funny, but he's just not sexy.
And he's charming, but he was not
And
sexy.
he's charming, just not sexy. You take those two qualities into a bedroom, night night.
Yeah. This is literally what she says about him.
Miguel. Oh yeah, okay. There's nothing sexy about Miguel.
And they all laugh.
And they all laugh. In
There's
his
nothing.
face.
That means that when people laugh at what you say, that means they agree with you.
Yeah, no one laughs at something they disagree with.
Yeah, Miguel. Let's say it. He's a heavy man. He's a heavy man.
Yeah, he's a bigger guy.
Let's bomb DC. No one laughs at that, right? That's how you know.
I got very scared.
That's how you know that it's not funny and no one's with you, because no one's laughing. But if you say something like, "You see that person trip over there?" Yeah, I did. They're agreeing with you because they saw it too, and they agree with you. Like, that was a funny thing I just saw. So when we say Miguel, you're not funny at all. Also, you didn't have to put the "at all" part. I feel like that's just being mean.
It is like a little too much. It's like, although he's not sexy, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, I want to make it clear that in no way, at no facet of this person, physically or emotionally or like anything he said, none of it was sexy.
None of it. Can you play that clip back?
Here we go.
Miguel. Oh yeah, okay. There's nothing sexy about Miguel.
You know, so now you played it again, and she doesn't say the "at all" part. I just heard the "at all."
I did too. That's weird.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because that's what we were thinking. Was it's like,
Yeah.
there is nothing at all about.
Yeah. I think it's so matter of fact the way she says it, that we add on in our brains "at all."
All the women laugh at him. Katie Lee Joel is laughing. Elizabeth Faulkner is laughing. Madam S is laughing. Also, the way that they have Madam S come into the room to help them judge, she sits at the opposite end of the table and looks at them. And it makes no sense.
It's a weird setup. Yeah. Yeah. They do kind of gang up on Miguel, but in the end, they end up selecting him as the winner of the elimination challenge.
Mm-hmm.
He wins. No one really made anything sexy. The sexiest thing I think that anyone made is that
Well, hold on. Let's talk about what he made. The win. He made the total orgasm, which was the 3-part thing with the pastry puffs,
Yes.
Mhm.
tapioca pillows, and then to the hot chocolate shot that had cayenne pepper in it.
Yes. Yeah. You said chocolate pillow. I think he called it the Asian pillow. Is that what it was called?
Tapioca pillows, but yeah, I think he called it an Asian pillow or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. He gives these things to Madame S. He then gets down on his knees to serve her something, and then she makes him kiss her butt, and then he smacks her butt as she goes away,
Yeah.
and then all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
It does a montage of like people doing body shots off each
Yeah.
other, people getting crazy. We see that Lisa Parks is wearing her sexiest outfit, which is a white sweater. We see that Dave is wearing his sexiest outfit, which is a polo shirt. And things go crazy.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that there was a camp of people that looked at what they had and said, "What could be sexy? I'm going to try it." And then I think there was a camp of people that said, "I don't. I'm going to wear whatever I want to wear." Like I do.
I'm here to cook. I'm here to cook food.
I do not. I do not agree with this challenge. I'm just going to try and make something and just coast through this challenge.
Yeah, I'll put a Band-Aid around my neck. That's as sexy as I'm gonna get. I'm here to cook.
Tiffany, just to quickly, some of the things that are kind of sexy. Tiffany did a cookie around the neck that you're supposed to eat off, which Madame S said tasted terrible.
Yeah, she was
Even though if
disgusted.
you watch the clip, she's like, which means
Yeah.
how many other guest judges lie to the face of the contestants?
I think you kind of get a window into her life and her profession of pretending to like things that other people have put forward for her, like that.
To put her to like taste.
Yeah, to get her to taste. Like she just has like a very good like, oh yeah, that's great kind of like reaction. But inside she's just like slowly like just being like, just get me out of here. Yeah.
Worst driest cook I've ever had in my life. Jesus.
Yeah.
Show
We'd
me
be
the-
remiss to not mention that RuPaul is there. RuPaul is in attendance at this party. RuPaul also fat shames. She says something like, if you've seen a fat person eat a cream puff, it's better than sex. Or something.
Is that shaming though?
Yeah,
Isn't that like
is that shame?
a bit of a compliment?
Oh, you're right. Maybe it's
As
lifting
like
fat people
someone
up.
loving what's like kind of watching someone love something they're doing.
Yeah, but no, but the way that it's said, that's not said to lift me up. Like, if,
Not?
like, am I supposed to be like empowered by that?
What if she said something like more obviously negative? Like, oh, watching a fat person eat is like, I don't know, taking out the trash. I don't know.
Taking out the trash.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That sounds way worse than, man, it's like an orgasm watching a big person eat a dessert.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I'm not going to play the game where I think of another version of that to explain it better, but just like, because it might involve Shamu again. But if you just like, it's like, I don't know.
I
It's
kind of like to hear it. I kind of want to hear it.
Shamu doesn't get brought up enough.
Yeah,
I kind of feel like it's going to be offensive.
Okay, then I don't want to hear it.
It might not even involve shampoo. I'm trying to think of like just some other version of a person. Like if you see that person doing that.
I don't know. It feels like you're trying to force Shamu into a fat joke.
No, even if it's not a Shamu thing.
You
like
want
if
a
it was
fat
like
shame Shamu.
Shamu's not actually fat. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, it's just the way that the structure of a killer whale. It can't help it.
Yeah. Also, it's not allowed to like free roam and exercise, so it's stuck in
Yeah.
a tank. What's your excuse, everyone?
That's the first thing they take from the killer whales when they capture them is their gym equipment.
Yeah.
Stupidest joke. Got that.
That's the best joke we've done this whole episode, so that's staying in. Miguel wins this one. He of course is the horniest contestant, so it only makes sense that he wins this one.
He is the horniest and the only horny person. And it was almost like, so here's a question for you guys. Do you think that Miguel is a sexually frustrated individual and that's why he felt empowered to be so openly horny in this episode? Or do you think he in general is a like sexually liberated man who is just kind of openly horny all the time?
I think it's C. He realized he was going to have to be sexy, and felt like he had a green light to like maybe do something and show a side of him that he doesn't show to very many people.
Okay.
So he's like, I have the freedom to be out there and sexy because it's part of the competition now, where a lot of people knows about me. But hey, hey,
I think that it's A. I think he doesn't get a lot of action, and there because he says like when the party's announced, he's like, "Oh, I bet there's gonna be porn stars there," and like that's what like a fat guy in 2006 would say.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think that so big get for this podcast, only on episode 2. We do have Miguel
Mhm.
available here to be able to
Yep.
answer a couple of quick questions. I know he's got a busy schedule right now.
27-year-old Miguel from New York, New York.
Yes,
Welcome.
he's
Go.
27. Yeah, welcome to the show. We got him on the line. Miguel, how are you doing?
You guys hear me all right?
Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Miguel?
Hey, what's up, guys? Is everyone doing all right?
Yeah. I'm safe. You know, taking all the precautions and stuff. Reeves, I think, is too. Thanks for coming on the podcast. Just want to talk to you about. I mean, you had maybe one of the coolest elimination challenge wins of any contestant on Top Chef. I mean, to do something so far the opposite of what you've been asked to come on the show to do. What was it like winning the sex competition?
Look, when I tell girls now, when they're like, "Oh, you're the guy from Top Chef, you're the guy that won the sex challenge," and I'm like, "Yeah, do you want to see what it's about?" And they say, "Yes, of course," and then we get it on. They want to see the Asian pillow, they want to see the total orgasm, they want to see it all, and I'm willing to give it to them. That's what Top Chef has done for me. It opened up so many doors and so many legs for me.
Wow. So
Wow, you're
speaking of
still
opening up
horny.
doors, yeah.
I
Speaking of opening up doors, I remember in the episode when you thrust open the door and showed everyone the outfit that you were going to be using for the
Yeah,
night to
yeah,
bring character and sex. Can you just walk us through how you put that outfit together?
yeah. So I brought. They didn't tell us to bring anything sexy for the show. They told us to bring stuff that's for cooking. So I brought the red wig, which I always wear when I'm cooking, and I brought that like Irish looking like golf hat that I always wear when I'm cooking. And then I just opened up my shirt and I took my apron and I put it down in front of me. And and honestly, that's I mean, no one else had the chest out and the stomach out. So like to me, that was the sexiest thing you could do, and that's what I did.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I'm a little confused like with the golf hat and
Yeah,
the wig. Like why did you bring those to the show? And B, like why do you interpret that as sexy?
it's my understanding, and when I say my understanding, I mean it's what my therapist and I talk about, is that what you find sexual or what you're sexually attracted to is something that may have happened to you when you were younger. And
Oh
I
no.
and I and what we've done is we went
Oh no.
through, and I was put
Maybe
to sleep.
maybe need to stop
She
this.
she had this little stopwatch, and she was putting it in front of my face, and she said, just breathe deeply. And I did it, and I fell asleep, and I pictured myself jerking off on a golf green, just you know,
Oh.
and then I did it again, and then jerking off got boring, so I started to fuck the hole, the hole, the
I
you.
we know
You
what
guys
you're
understand
saying.
when I say the
Yeah,
hole?
we get it, Miguel. Miguel, I think
Okay,
you
that
were
was Miguel Morales.
yeah, that was
Who
Miguel.
called into the show. Thank you for joining us, Miguel. Great insights to your character and your thought process. So it was wonderful. I hope our audience of listeners enjoyed that. Hey, Brian, are you back?
Yes, I'm back. Yeah, sorry. Oh gosh, do not go in
You
there, right? Whew.
you won't believe what you just missed.
Yeah. Miguel was just here and he was hornier than normal and also telling us some of his history that like started his horniness
Yeah,
basically. And it
it's
was
very
very
graphic.
disturbing. Yeah, very graphic and disturbing.
I wish you guys would have told me. Miguel is my favorite contestant on the show. You guys didn't tell me he was. Fuck.
It was
You
just the
just got up and
timing.
said you just got up and went to the bathroom without saying anything.
Yeah, had we known, we would have
I
held
would
the
have said,
phone.
"Hey, you might want to hold it because Miguel's on the phone."
Did you guys get a picture with him?
We did. We all took a picture. We took a screenshot.
Yeah, nice screenshot together. It is really nice. We'll probably put it up on our site.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna put it on my social media.
Damn it! I missed
So
it.
just something to think about next time we have one of the contestants calling in, just to stick around.
I can't help when it happens. It happens, and it happened. Did you guys talk about who won and who lost?
To
With
be honest,
Miguel?
with Miguel, no. Like it really was just about his horny history. Like that's really all we had time for.
Miguel focus. We didn't get too much into the meal he made and how he felt about Andrea going home after making creamy balls and crunchy nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Andrea went home from making creamy balls and crunchy nuts, and she did say that it was sexy because it gave you stamina.
Yes. And we do remember that Andrea, her whole deal is that she wants healthy food. She doesn't like cooking food. She just wants the ingredients to be put out in front of you, and that's healthy to her. And that was her whole deal until the very end, where, like, traditionally in Top Chef, if you're watching now, once someone is eliminated, there's this kind of voiceover sequence that's kind of like a montage of the chef putting their knives away and kind of putting their stuff up and leaving the studio as they're kind of saying their final goodbye. The interesting thing from this with Andrea was, rather than place her knives in a normal like pack that you would carry your knives along with, which is like what all chefs have, she just had a big jacket where she took like a pretty large like butcher knife and just put it in the pocket of the jacket.
She opened up the jacket and put it in the pocket of the jacket.
Yeah. And walked out, which, I mean, leads me to believe that she was on her way to do something terrible.
Yeah. Which is now putting me on edge. Anytime I see someone wear a big jacket, I assume now they're going to be hiding something in the jacket.
A giant chef's knife.
Yeah.
We talked about this in the last episode, so I don't think it's, we're not going crazy here. And this episode came out like 14 years ago, so it's fine. We know that Andrea doesn't actually end up going home. So you got to wonder, did she take that knife to Tom and Gail and fucking put it to their throats and was like, you better send someone else home because it's not going to be me.
Somebody else better go home.
I think that happened.
It probably did happen.
All right. Well, I think we've covered it all for this episode.
Yeah, if you listen to this episode and you're like, okay, that was an episode, we're gonna keep doing a few more of them. If you liked this episode, cool. If you listen to the first episode, whichever version of it you get, and this is different than that episode, we apologize, but we're gonna keep going forward.
Yeah. And to be honest, you might get a different version of the first episode, and you also might get a different version of this episode too.
This episode didn't have the same problems that the first one did, but it had new problems.
We're finding, as we're recording each episode, new problems arise.
So we might,
yeah,
you might just get episode 3, which, if we go too far one way, episode 1, too far the other way, episode 2. Episode 3 is going to be good. It's got to be good.
Rule of threes.
Yeah, but like, subscribe, put some comments down, write what you do the thing where you write about what you had for dinner, which of course we do every single episode. At the beginning of every episode, and we'll be reading them out at the beginning of every episode. So do that. It really helps us in whatever version of this that you're listening to.
Yeah, whatever version you listen to. And also tell Tom that you like the podcast and that he made a good decision making the 3 of us the official hosts of the only Top Chef podcast.
Yeah, tweet at Tom Colicchio.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Until next time, this has been Pod Chef, your 3 friends from Mexico.
Yes.
Packing up our knives and going. Oh, wait, I'm hitting end on the Zoom, not on the record. Hold on, we're still here.
I like that as an ending.
Packing up our knives and going.
And go.
Please pack up.